Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about Pythagorean Theorem. Okay, Pythagorean Theorem is used to find missing sides of a right triangle. Okay, now a right triangle is a triangle that has a 90-degree angle, and that 90-degree angle is going to be depicted with that little square down in the corner. Okay, looking at this triangle, the sides A and B are called the legs, and the side C is called the hypotenuse. How we can always find the hypotenuse is it's directly across from that right angle. It's also the longest side. Okay, so for any right triangle, we can use Pythagorean's theorem. Pythagorean's theorem is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Okay, so with number 1 here, okay, we have 8, 13, and x. So x is our missing side. Now x is the hypotenuse. It's the hypotenuse because it's directly across from the right angle. So that means that 8 and 13 are the legs. Now, 8 could be A and 13 could be B. Now, which one's A and B doesn't matter, but we're going to plug it into our formula. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we're going to type in 8 squared plus 13 squared is equal to c squared. Okay, now we can use our calculator for this. All right, if you have the WABA-EMU app, you can go ahead and use this calculator, or if you use the Desmos scientific calculator, I found that this is actually very useful and will be useful for our trig unit. So 8 squared plus 13 squared is equal to, what is this? Is equal to 233. So we'll go back to this. So we get 233 is equal to c squared. Okay. Now we want to, the question up here says round your answer to the nearest tenth. Tenth, remember, is 1 decimal. Okay. So basically what that means is we're not going to have nice answers. So in order to get rid of this squared right here, we're going to take the square root of it. We're going to take the square root of both sides. So again, we go back to our calculator. We take the square root of 233, and we get 15.26. Now remember, okay, so our final answer for this, C, is going to be 15.3. That would be our answer. Okay, so let's look at number 3. So number 3, 9 now is my hypotenuse, and 7 and x, those are going to be my A and my B. Again, it doesn't matter which one is which, okay? So we have a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Now again, the important thing to remember is to put the hypotenuse into the c. So this is going to be equal to 9 squared. But 7 and x, that doesn't really matter where we put them. So I'm going to put 7 squared plus x squared. Okay, now we're going to solve for x. So 7 squared is 49. So plus x squared is equal to, and then 9 squared is 81. I'm going to subtract 49 from each side. And we get x squared is equal to, and then you can go ahead if you need to plug that in your calculator, but we get 32. Again, to get rid of a square, we take the square root, So I'm going to get x is equal to, no, I don't know what the square root is, so we're going to go to our calculator. Oops. Okay, that would be 1. So we're going to do the square root of 32. And we get 5.65. Okay, again, that second 5 is going to make that 6 round up. So it's going to be 5.7 would be our answer. Okay, so that's how you would use Pythagorean theorem, whether you're missing one of the legs or if you're missing the hypotenuse. Okay, now we also are going to have some, what are these called? These are called word problems. So again, we are rounding to the nearest tenth still, so we're still doing that 1 decimal place. Okay, so number 10 says a roofer leans a 16-foot ladder against a house. If the base of the ladder is 5 feet from the house, how high up does the house go? So I always like to draw pictures with this. So we have a house. Okay, I know how awesome my art skills are. We have a ladder that is leaning up against a house. And we have this base here. Okay, so the ladder is 16 feet. So the 16 feet goes with the ladder. And then it says the base of the ladder is 5 feet from the house. So that means that that 5 is going to go down here. Now, this is where our right angle is right here. So that means the 16 is going to be our hypotenuse, and it wants to know how high up. So it wants to know this distance here. How high up is that ladder going to reach? So we use our Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Again, the 16 goes into the c because that's our hypotenuse. The x squared and the 5 squared, that doesn't matter. You can put 1 first, 1 second, it does not matter. Okay? And then we go ahead and we do our math. Well, 5 squared is 25. And 16 squared is 256. So I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides. And I get x squared is equal to 231. I'm going to bring it up here. So x squared is equal to 231. And then, again, we're trying to get rid of that squared, so we're going to take the square root, and I get x is equal to, calculator, square root of 231. I get 15.19. That 9 is going to round the 1 up because it's bigger than 5. So this answer is going to be 15.2. And that's how you do the Pythagorean theorem.